Welcome, modern day mystics, fellow truth seekers, James and Justin, back again with another reaction video. Now, I stumbled across this YouTube channel called Harmony. It is a Christian Orthodox YouTube channel, and they do like Christian animes. And there was this new one that popped up this week called I Am. It's doing really good. Got like 172,000 views in like a few days. So I'm looking forward to taking
Christian anime.
Yeah.
Just animations? Like
Yeah. Bible anime.
Interesting that it's Orthodox Christians. I don't know, like just ignorantly coming to mind when you say Orthodox Christian, my mind tells me old school.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Animation's sort of a relatively modern thing for the world.
Crossover or something like that. Well, anyway, this is
let's
titled.
check it out.
This is titled I Am. So let's take a look.
Here I am.
Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, all of you will worship God on this mountain.
Suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, "The God of your fathers has sent me to you." And they ask me, "What is his name?" What should I tell them?
I am that I am. This is what you ought to say to the Israelites. I am has sent you. This is my name forever. And this is my memorial unto all generations.
Quick pause for a second before we get into this next part. That scene of Moses going before the burning bush. Growing up as a kid, I always kind of like longed for an experience like that.
I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say I'd be out on a walk and I would be like, no, I could go for a transformation moment right now.
Yeah. And even
interesting.
still, like if I'm meditating or something, there's like this longing, like just for like some cosmic, supernatural experience for like this, like whether it's an epiphany or like, your third eye to explode open or something,
Right.
This God thing. And I think it's like, I think all humans like crave that, don't they? They must.
I don't know if all do, but I definitely feel you on that one because same thing. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like I remember watching the cartoon Prince of Egypt.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, man, I could go for that. That sounds awesome to have this, call to adventure and then life-changing experience.
Well, also simultaneously terrifying. At the same
Yeah,
time,
well,
if you were alone.
the voice actor that did God was, what was that, Idris Elba? So this is a good bassy voice.
Yeah.
And that cavern looked sort of gynecological for some reason. I don't know what that was about.
Well, anyway, we continue on.
What? Hey, look! Over there! Hey, do you see that? It's a ghost!
Take heart. Do not be afraid. I am.
Keanu Reeves.
You are a Samaritan, and you have a demon.
I honor my father, and you dishonor me. Truly, truly, I tell you, if anyone keeps my words, he will never see death.
Now we know you have a demon.
Abraham died, and so did the prophets, yet you say that anyone who keeps your word will never taste death. Are you greater than our father Abraham? He died, as did the prophets. Who do you claim to be?
Your father Abraham rejoiced that he would see my day. He saw it and was glad.
You are not yet 50 years old, and you have seen Abraham.
Truly, truly, I tell you, before Abraham was, I am.
It was like a walk-off, like, I am, and then he's like walking off.
Mic drop. Interesting, the thing is, like, the Pharisees and stuff often get depicted as like these vicious, horrible people, and maybe they were or whatever, but if you think about what Christ was saying, it probably would have been pretty tough to chew on. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, even when Christ was being crucified, he said, "God, forgive them. They know not what they do." Even Christ could forgive them. Can we forgive some of the people from the past already? It would have been tough, And a wise person was once talking about Christ, and he was saying that, I'm all for Christ. I'm not, and his words were, he was all for Christ, but he wasn't even a little bit for Christianity. And his suggestion was that Jesus Christ, there was nothing organizable about him, relating it to organized religion. He was like, he was not organizable, what was inside him. His very essence or something, this person was saying, is like a rebellion. Yeah. So much of what Christ said was subversive. It was like, whatever you think you're thinking in your human, with all your tendencies, it's different than that. Are you going to be free or what?
Yeah.
And I, if you really want to connect with Christ, if you really want to get close to Christ, I would suggest, and you're having trouble with it at least, I would suggest kind of separating a little bit even from the organized aspects of it and what you might take in from everybody. Read the scripture yourself and interpret it with your own mind, and then come to some conclusions.
Well, at least get some different perspectives on it, because
only if
there are things I heard about Jesus at a later date that were like shocking to me, that I had no idea
like
that
what?
there was like a way of viewing it. One would be just that, like, instead of looking at Jesus as some deity figure or subsector manifestation of God, maybe, take a look at him from an enlightened perspective, as just a human like you and me, who's someone who's enlightened, that maybe has like understood something, is trying to communicate some type of a truth that maybe you haven't grasped yet. One thing I find interesting in these drawings is that, I don't know if you've noticed, is that the depictions of the humans in Jesus, all the humans, you can see all their like birth defects, like you can see the wrinkles, they all look weird, and Jesus, his skin's all smooth. And
looks like John Wick.
Yeah.
First
he looks really
purple
good.
eyes.
All the humans look messed up. But yeah, there's different ways to think of Jesus and what he was saying. Like when he's saying "I am," that's like the title of this. The whole theme here is "I am." There are spiritual practices there where I was listening to something this week where it was saying that the people, like, part of their practices during their meditation were just to focus on the term "I am."
Yeah.
In their head, "I am." And for some people that works, that like cracks them, and they're like, willing, able to see through a new lens, see a new truth. And that's something that, like, in some circles, some sects of Christianity, they say, don't do that. Whatever you do, don't say "I am."
Right.
Because that's God's title. And
why don't we just stop with the hyper rationalization? If you're going to sit there and meditate on a verse, I hope you're not like trying to figure it out. You know, it's just a suggestion, by the way. If you're at the place where you want to be part of some organized thing and you're getting a lot out of that, then go nuts. Because my suspicion is that for most of us, our problems and everything that's going on is just an amalgamation of processes yet to resolve. And for some reason, figures emerge over time where those processes have resolved and they're free. But when they speak, you can be sure that it's going to be in some sort of riddle. It's going to be in some parable or something that is confusing and sort of meant to destabilize or cause cognitive dissonance. That's what's standing out to me. I can only speak what seems true to me. And so sometimes you got to let people sort of go through all the different stages and states that they're at and interpret Christ a certain way. But I honestly, like, when you actually hear what Christ was talking about and the way he behaved and all that, it seems to be something that is, like, not so easily, like, refined into some logic-based thing, you know? People would say, like, well, what did you mean by this? And sometimes he would break it down, you know? But, you know, what does it mean really to I don't know, let me try to think of one thing Christ did. How about when he talked about drinking poison? Or handling snakes and, you know, don't even be surprised at what I'm doing. You will do greater things. What level, where do you got to be at for that to be the case? Because I've known Christians that spent their evenings, you know, prostrating themselves before the throne, you know, and I've known people that have been dedicated their whole life. The miracles seem to usually be elsewhere. But Christ said, that was one of the things he said, was you will do greater things than me. So how do you get at that? How do you get to the point where water turns to wine in your hand? You know, maybe it takes a kind of letting go of rationalizing. Maybe it takes a letting go of, you know, some of the things that, you know, look at the Pharisees. They were so legalistic.
Maybe some of the greater miracles aren't found within physical manifestation of miracles.
For sure.
Maybe the miracles are like the understandings that you've taken, the internal change that happens.
The whole kingdom's inside, after all.
But anyway, we rambled on a long time here. Let's continue.
Whom are you seeking?
Jesus, the Nazarene.
I am.
I don't remember that.
Have you no answer? What are these men testifying against you?
I charge you under the oath by the living God. Tell us if you are the Christ, the Son of God.
I am. And you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of power and coming with the clouds of heaven.
You have heard them blaspheme, and why do we need any more witnesses? What is the verdict?
Prophesy, you Christ!
Well, I think we got to say kudos to the YouTube channel here, Harmony. That was a really well done anime.
The sound editing was great, right?
And I appreciate the dramatic effect. Sometimes taking it even to try to get it to go over the top. I like that. Yeah, and it might have even been like that. It might have been more crazier than that.
Right. Jesus said something, and those guys went flying.
Yeah, that part I don't know. I was like, I don't remember that part. I was like, I am, and they were like, blown. I was like, I don't remember that, but man, I don't know. Depends on the translation, I guess.
There's a lot of parts. There's a lot of parts in the Bible. It's hard to remember them all.
Yeah. in terms of that I am part and like the organized religion stuff that you were talking about before, I heard a little blurb from Graham Hancock today, and it was just a short video clip, and he was talking about kind of like organized religion, and he was like, what does it mean if you don't need to find spirituality through some other sect or find it out there in some other holy being, if it's something that is accessible to each one of us individual? You know, that's a pretty powerful thing, that, you know, at any time you have power to access the kingdom. You have access to the creator at all times. It's with you.
You ever been frustrated that something doesn't resolve something that you're working on in your life? You ever been frustrated, like, why can't it just be have I not sacrificed? Have I not, like, done something to, you know, move forward? And especially when the thing that I'm struggling with is, like, wearing me down or causing me to stumble or something like that, right? I'm really thinking lately that for many of us, there's a whole bunch of things that are just a matter of processes that need to resolve. How do you learn something? Usually it requires experience. You know, so we go through these experiences, and either you got it or you don't got it, you know? But the bottom line is, if somebody finds fulfillment or they're really whole hearts in it and they're part of organized religion, I'm not going to criticize them. I'm not really criticizing anyone. I'm just speaking about where I'm at right now, that for sure, like Graham Hancock was saying, you know, if you're struggling with that, then, you know, Christ said, my yoke is light, my burden is not heavy, right? If it feels heavy, what's going on? You know what I mean? Maybe interpret it a different way. Maybe you know, and stuff like this.
That's a good way. That's a good way to look at it. Does it feel heavy? Is what you're carrying feel heavy? Good, right. Really good way to look at it.
And so I'm all for people turning the Bible into cartoons. For sure, I'm into it. If it enlivens you, if it makes you radiant, you know, if after watching this, you know what I mean, you're like in the zone and you go do something and then learn the lessons that come from being that way. Because it's just a never-ending lesson game. You know, true hero fights the rising odds no matter what they are.
Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction. Good video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone till next time, stay spiritual.